Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we are going to be talking about smart ports. Um,
Smart
yeah,
ports.
you know those harbors that are becoming these high-tech hubs
Exactly.
for global trade?
Yeah.
The article that we're going to be talking about today is called The Smart Port Revolution, Shaping the Future of Maritime with Technology.
Shaping the future.
And we're going to be covering some really cool stuff like digital twins,
Digital twins.
autonomous drones, 3D interfaces.
It's really exciting to see how technology is transforming these ports, making them more efficient, more
Hmm.
environmentally friendly, and really improving the lives of the people who
Yeah.
live and work around them.
So before we get too far, I think it'd be good to define what a smart port is.
Sure.
What exactly is a smart port?
Well, it's not just about having fancy new cranes or, just slapping on a new coat of technological paint. A true smart port leverages technology to create a truly interconnected and intelligent ecosystem. So it's really about using technology to enhance every aspect of the port's operations.
Gotcha. So it's like a holistic approach.
Exactly. It's a holistic approach. And a great example of this is the Port of Rotterdam. They were one of the world's first smart ports,
Oh, yeah.
and they've implemented digital twin technology to optimize pretty much everything they do.
Right.
And as a result, they've seen a 20% decrease in ship waiting times,
Wow.
which is a huge boost to efficiency.
20%.
Ugh.
That's incredible. So I guess that's where the digital twins come in. It's like having a virtual copy of the entire port, right?
Exactly.
So how does that actually work?
Well, it's more than just a static model.
Yeah.
These digital twins are constantly learning and evolving with the help of machine learning.
So it's using like AI and things like that.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they can predict and optimize everything from traffic flow to energy consumption. They can even anticipate potential security threats
Well, wow.
before they even happen.
That's really incredible to think about, having this virtual world that mirrors the real world
Right.
and allows you to see all of these things that you wouldn't normally be able to see.
It's really powerful technology, and it's not just about improving things on a small scale.
Yeah.
It's really pushing the boundaries of what's possible in global trade and logistics.
Yeah, and this reminds me of something you mentioned earlier about ports becoming more environmentally responsible.
Yes.
How are smart ports helping to reduce their environmental impact?
Well, one of the biggest benefits of smart ports is their potential for environmental sustainability.
Mm.
By optimizing energy consumption, reducing waste, and promoting green logistics solutions, they can significantly reduce their carbon footprint. In
Sure.
fact, many ports are now incorporating renewable energy sources into their infrastructure,
Okay.
like solar and wind power, to reduce their reliance on fossil fuels.
So it's kind of like they're becoming these hungs of clean energy,
Exactly.
sustainable practices.
Yeah, almost like miniature eco-cities for global trade.
That's a great way to put it.
Uh,
Okay, so we've talked about digital twins
Yeah.
and sustainability, but I really want to hear more about these autonomous drones that are being used in smart ports. What exactly are they doing?
So drones are definitely one of the coolest aspects of smart ports,
Yeah.
and their applications are really diverse. Imagine a network of drones constantly monitoring the port, keeping an eye on everything from security to environmental conditions.
Okay.
They can conduct inspections in hard-to-reach areas like bridges or cranes,
Yeah.
ensuring safety and efficiency without putting human workers at risk.
That's a good point, especially when you consider the scale of some of these ports. I mean, sending a drone to inspect a crane is way more efficient and safer than having someone climb all the way up there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the benefits don't stop there.
Yeah.
They can also be used for real-time surveillance,
Oh.
detecting anomalies like potential security breaches or cargo spills much faster than traditional methods.
So it's like having a whole extra set of eyes
Yeah,
in the
much.
sky,
Yeah,
constantly scanning for anything that might be out of the ordinary.
exactly.
And they're equipped with all sorts of sensors.
Oh, yeah, right. They can monitor things like air quality,
Okay.
water conditions, even the structural integrity of infrastructure.
Wow.
So this data, helps ports make more informed decisions about everything from safety protocols to environmental protection.
So it's not just about like having a cool gadget. It's about
Yeah.
actually using the data
It's about the data.
that's being collected to make real decisions.
Exactly.
This is incredible. It sounds like these drones are practically running the show.
Well, not quite running the show, but they are definitely playing a crucial role in making things run more smoothly
Yeah.
and sustainably. And when you combine that with the power of 5G connectivity.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about 5G.
Yeah.
What role does 5G play in all of this?
Well, think of 5G as the central nervous system
Oh, okay.
of the smart port. It allows every element of the ecosystem to communicate in real time. It's not just about faster downloads. It's about the seamless data flow that's essential for coordinating all of these autonomous vehicles that we've been talking about.
So like all those drones and sensors are constantly sending back information to
Exactly.
a central hub where it can be processed.
Right, and 5G is what makes that possible. It enables that real-time data transfer
Okay.
that gives port operators a constant stream of information.
So they're seeing everything that's happening.
They're seeing everything as it's happening.
Wow. And 5G is also enabling some other really interesting technologies like augmented reality,
Yes,
right?
absolutely. Imagine port workers using AR glasses
Okay.
to see real-time data overlaid on their view of the port.
Yeah.
They could get instructions on how to handle cargo or repair equipment with incredible precision.
So it's kind of like they're wearing like a video game interface
It's very much like that.
in the real world.
Yeah, it's taking that technology and putting it to work in a very practical way.
And speaking of data, we also need to talk about all the smart sensors and cameras that are being used in these ports.
Yes.
How do they contribute to the overall intelligence of the port?
So think of these sensors and cameras as the port's senses. They're embedded throughout the infrastructure,
Yeah.
tracking cargo movement, perimeter security, air quality, water levels, you name it.
Wow.
It's like the port has its finger on the pulse of every single operation.
So it's not just about collecting data
No,
for the sake of it.
it's about using that data to make real-time adjustments
Okay.
and optimize everything that's happening.
Okay.
So for example, imagine a sensor detects a potential traffic bottleneck forming near a cargo terminal.
Okay.
With real-time data analysis, the port management system can automatically adjust traffic flow,
Wow.
rerouting trucks and optimizing crane operations.
So it's like a self-regulating system.
It is like a self-regulating system, and
It's amazing.
it helps to keep things moving smoothly.
It's incredible to think about how these technologies are working together to create a port that's not just efficient,
Right.
but incredibly responsive to changing conditions.
Yes, and that's really what sets smart ports apart from their traditional counterparts. It's not just about doing things faster.
Yeah.
It's about doing things smarter.
So we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah.
We've seen how digital twins, drones, 5G connectivity, and smart sensors are all working together to create these incredibly efficient and sustainable ports.
And we've only just scratched the surface. There's so much more to discover about the incredible innovations driving this transformation.
It really is mind-blowing to see how these seemingly futuristic technologies are already being used in ports around the world.
Right.
But I'm also curious about the economics of it all. We've talked about the efficiency gains, but what does all this mean for global trade and, the overall economy?
Well, it's not just about making each individual port a little bit faster, right? It's about how these smart ports can actually reshape global trade networks as a whole. For example, by optimizing shipping routes and reducing delays,
Yeah.
they can have a significant impact on the flow of goods around the world and ultimately the cost of doing business internationally.
So these smart ports are almost like catalysts for economic growth,
Exactly.
not just locally, but on a global scale.
Exactly. Think of it as upgrading the circulatory system
Okay.
of the global economy.
I like that.
When goods can move more efficiently,
Yeah,
it lowers costs for businesses.
exactly.
It improves access to markets.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it benefits consumers worldwide.
Yeah.
And that, in turn, stimulates economic growth and creates new opportunities.
That makes a lot of sense. But what about the impact on jobs? Whenever we talk about automation, there's always that concern that it will lead to, widespread job displacement.
Yeah, it's a valid concern for sure. And it's one that, needs to be addressed thoughtfully.
Oh.
While it's true that, some traditional port jobs may become automated, the rise of smart ports is also creating entirely new job sectors.
Yeah.
Think about the demand for data analysts, software developers, cybersecurity experts,
Oh, yeah.
engineers with specialized skills in robotics and automation.
Mm.
All of these jobs
Yeah.
are in high demand because of this shift towards smart ports.
So it's not necessarily about jobs disappearing, but rather the nature of work itself is changing.
Exactly. It's about the evolution of work.
Yeah.
And, it's important for governments, educational institutions, and the private sector to kind of work together
Okay.
to make sure that workers have access to the training and resources that they need to adapt to this new landscape.
That's a really important point, I think. It's not enough to just marvel at the technology. We also need to think about the human impact and make sure that everyone has the opportunity to benefit from, this progress. Now, we touched upon the environmental benefits of smart ports a little bit earlier, but I'd love to delve a bit deeper. Can you talk a little bit more about how these technologies are contributing to a more sustainable future for the maritime industry?
Sure. So, traditional ports, right? You think about a traditional port and it's often associated with high carbon emissions,
Yeah,
environmental pollution.
for sure.
But smart ports are really trying to flip the script
Okay.
by embracing green technologies and sustainable practices.
Okay.
For instance, many ports are now powered by renewable energy sources like
Right.
solar and wind power,
Right.
which significantly reduces their reliance on fossil fuels.
So it's not just about optimizing the processes within the port itself. It's about making the entire operation more sustainable.
Exactly. It's a holistic approach to sustainability. And it extends beyond just energy consumption.
Okay.
Smart ports are also optimizing their logistics chains, reducing waste,
Right.
implementing innovative solutions like shore power,
Okay.
which allows ships to turn off their engines while docked and connect to the port's electrical grid.
So they're not just sitting there.
Exactly. It reduces emissions,
I like.
and it's a much more sustainable way to operate.
It's really amazing to see how these technologies are, not only making ports more efficient, but also actively reducing their environmental impact. And I'm sure that has, positive effects that extend beyond the port itself.
You're absolutely right. The benefits of a cleaner, more sustainable port ripple out
Yeah,
to the surrounding communities. Reduced air and water pollution mean a healthier environment
for sure.
for everyone. And that, directly impacts people's quality of life.
Yeah, that's a crucial point, things that often gets overlooked in these discussions about, you know, technological advancement. It's not just about, abstract gains in efficiency. It's about making a tangible difference
It-
in the lives of real people.
It's about people.
And these improvements in environmental sustainability can also have, positive economic implications for local communities.
Oh, absolutely. For example, investing in renewable energy infrastructure creates new jobs and stimulates economic activity in the region.
So it's kind of this virtuous cycle where, sustainable practices lead to economic benefits, which then allow for further investment in sustainability.
Exactly. It's a win-win situation.
But let's be realistic for a moment here. With all this talk of progress and innovation, surely there must be some challenges and, potential downsides to all of this as well.
You're absolutely right. I mean, as with any major technological shift, there are hurdles to overcome and potential risks that need to be mitigated.
Mm.
One of the biggest concerns surrounding smart ports is cybersecurity.
Right.
With so much data flowing through these interconnected systems,
Yeah.
they become prime targets for cyber attacks.
That's kind of a scary thought, I imagine, that,
Yeah.
if someone were to successfully hack into a smart port systems, it could have, really catastrophic consequences.
Oh, absolutely. It could disrupt global trade, cause massive financial losses, and even endanger lives.
So cybersecurity is like super important when we're talking about smart ports.
It's paramount. Ports need to invest heavily in robust security measures,
Today.
including advanced firewalls, intrusion detection systems,
Yeah.
and really comprehensive employee training programs
Right.
to safeguard their systems and their data from malicious actors.
So it's not just about implementing cool new technologies. It's also about doing it in a way that is secure and responsible.
Exactly. You have to think about the risks and how to mitigate them.
And another challenge that we need to think about is the potential for job displacement as automation, takes over certain tasks that are traditionally performed by humans.
Right. It's the age-old concern about robots taking our jobs.
Exactly.
And, while it is true that some jobs may be automated, it's important to remember that this rise of smart ports is also creating entirely new job sectors.
Right.
So it's not about eliminating jobs. It's about evolving the nature of work itself.
And making sure that people have the skills that they need.
Exactly. Workers need access to training and resources
Yeah.
to adapt to this changing landscape.
Yeah.
And it's not just the responsibility of individual ports to manage this transition.
Okay.
It really requires collaboration between governments, educational institutions,
Right.
and the private sector
Okay.
to invest in retraining programs and, create pathways for workers to acquire the skills that they need to thrive in this new technological era.
So it sounds like this transition to a smarter maritime world
Hmm.
is going to require, a lot of careful planning and coordination to ensure that the benefits are, shared widely and the potential risks are mitigated effectively.
Absolutely. It's a complex undertaking, But I am optimistic that with the right approach, we can harness the power of these technologies to create a more efficient, sustainable, and equitable future for global trade and for the world as a whole.
This has been a really great discussion. I'm so glad we're able to, not just explore the technological marvels of smart ports, but also talk about the, broader economic, environmental, and social implications.
It's been my pleasure. It's fascinating to see how these innovations are changing the way we move goods around the world, but also, how they're shaping the future of global trade and, ultimately its impact on our planet and on our lives.
It's really incredible to think about all of the ripple effects that this smart port revolution is having. Like, it's not just about upgrading the infrastructure of these ports. It's about fundamentally changing the way we think about, global trade and sustainability and the role that technology plays in shaping our future.
Yeah.
Um, but, this has got me thinking, if these smart port concepts can be so transformative for the maritime industry, what other sectors could benefit from this kind of innovative thinking?
That's a really great question. And it highlights the broader potential of these technologies to revolutionize, not just specific industries, but entire systems. Like we've already touched on smart cities a little bit,
Right.
where sensors and data analysis can be used to optimize traffic flow, reduce energy consumption, and improve the quality of life for residents.
Yeah, it's fascinating to imagine, a city that operates as efficiently and intelligently as a smart port, responding to real-time conditions and constantly adapting to optimize resource use and minimize its environmental impact.
Right. It's about creating a more sustainable and livable urban environment. And it's not just limited to cities either. Think about the potential of smart agriculture,
Oh, cool.
where sensors can monitor soil conditions, weather patterns, crop health, allowing farmers to make data-driven decisions about irrigation, fertilization, and pest control.
Oh, wow. So it's kind of like giving farmers a real-time dashboard of
Exactly.
their entire operation.
And this could lead to, significant increases in crop yields while reducing waste and minimizing the environmental footprint of agriculture.
That's incredible. And then there's healthcare, which is, another area where we're seeing a lot of technological innovation.
Absolutely. We're already seeing how wearable sensors, artificial intelligence, and personalized medicine are transforming healthcare.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where your doctor has access to real-time data about your health,
Yeah.
allowing for early detection of potential problems and, customized treatment plans that are tailored to your specific needs.
Wow. That's really amazing to think about in not only extending our lives, but improving our overall health and well-being.
Hmm.
It seems like there's no limit to the ways in which this, smart approach can be applied to different industries to improve our world.
I agree. The key takeaway here is that these technological innovations aren't just about making incremental improvements.
Hmm.
They have the potential to disrupt entire industries and create entirely new ways of thinking and doing things.
It's a really exciting time to be alive,
Yeah.
witnessing this convergence of technology, innovation, and human ingenuity.
Hmm.
It's a reminder that the future is not something that just happens to us. It's something that we actively create
I agree.
through our choices and our investments and, our collective vision for a better world.
Well said. And as we continue to explore, the possibilities of smart ports and the broader smart everything movement, it's important that we approach these advancements with a sense of responsibility, making sure that the benefits are shared widely and that we mitigate the potential risks.
This has been an incredible deep dive into the world of smart ports, and I hope everyone listening feels as inspired as I do about the potential for technology to shape a more efficient, sustainable, and equitable future for all. The future is not predetermined. It's a canvas waiting for us to paint our vision of a brighter tomorrow way.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.
See you on our next deep dive.